Today, chat, today is gonna be a little bit something different. I will teach you guys how can you also be a Arknights and mean champion, even if you are going to be a complete free to play. Because I was literally on call. Yo, Halo, thank you so much for the 20 billion
Truly,
bucks,
Mr.
bro.
Hypergrifter.
Thank you. Because after being on call with my favorite hyper grifter, Brett's Creamy, he was correcting me for like I think almost 2 hours straight after I ended stream. And then after he corrected me, I went back to do my own correction based on his correction. So once again, I end up sleeping at like 8 a.m. Just going around the world, getting our yield, right? Take a look at our yield over here. Really, really good yield so far. I also favored a couple of things here. Okay, these kind of things I will show you guys a little bit, which is not too important because this is going to be for Wuling, right? This is going to be our yield that is going to be available in Wuling. And then we also have our yield right here in Valley, which almost, I am pretty sure they are like almost maxed out. Right, 420 U as well as 270 for the Originium. So today is not gonna be so much on playing. I will teach you guys. I will partake the knowledge that was bestowed upon me so that you guys can also be expert Arknights Endfield players. You are absolutely welcome. Yay. But that being said, we also do have a recent sub explain that is happening in roughly 2 hours from now. So honestly, today's stream is actually not super deep. After I finish up Reasons Up Explain, I might just continue on playing. But it means that YouTube frogs, I am so sorry, but you are not gonna be with us for very long. Because the game that we're doing a Reasons Up Explain for is called Snowbreak Containment Zone. I've already seen the okay, I already know Snowbreak Containment Zone is a huge no for YouTube. So if you guys wanna join us on Twitch, you can kindly hop on over roughly 2 hours from now at 10 p.m. Right, 10 p.m. we'll be playing Snowbreak Containment Zone for just 1 hour. Right, we'll take a look at our new skins as well as do some fun activities. So at roughly 11 p.m., I'm not gonna bring back YouTube ever for today. And I'll just go back into grinding out my Arknights Endfield experience. So that is pretty much today, or it's gonna be. Frankly speaking, I'm honestly also fucking tired. I think for the past 3 days, I slept like 15 hours per day. It is starting to get really tiring because I think I go to sleep at like 7, and then I'll wake up like 5-ish hours later, and then I'll continue grinding for 3 days straight. So today is kind of like my day 4. So I don't really know if I'm gonna be up in there tomorrow, but that will pretty much be my schedule so far, right? So in any case, before we get into the daily village, just kind of want to show you guys over here real quick. Yeah, so this is the Snowbreak Containment of Mega Track. If you want to kind of take a look into like the road, right, the road to progression, can check out our thingy over here. Okay, all the questions you guys have, I will answer. Hopefully, right? Hopefully, I've really prepared like a little bit of a show. Okay, it's not really Professor Bogey, but like I will kind of just yap on, and then you guys can kind of just go from where it's gonna be to understand how this game is gonna be working. So specifically, day 3 for me, this was the biggest day because I know for a fact that once you finish up Wuling and you unlock the gold gears, as you can see over here, right? So these are the gold gears, right? Once you get gold gears, you will never, ever run anything from here ever again. They are basically all completely fucking useless, which is why I just refuse to craft any gears. I refuse to do any of the AIC. I wanted to speedrun through story as far as possible. Was it annoying? Yes, right? Like when we were doing the boss, when we were doing the elites, right? Where I was running fucking level 36 gears and my units were at level 60. It was hell annoying, but we still got it done anyways. And now that I finished up all the way to this point, I essentially skipped out this entire portion because for the bubble gears, you needed something like this. And you can see I basically almost don't have a single one because I didn't even do this step. So I just instantly jumped straight into the gold gears over here, which I think has served quite well with regards to my account. And I didn't really lose that much time over it because I basically got here in 3 days as a free to play. But that being said, I was like no living it for 3 days as well. So if I were to translate this into like a jobber time frame, where if you can only play this game like 1 or 2 hours a day, all that kind of stuff, probably it will take you like 2 weeks. I think it will probably take most players probably 2 weeks to actually get here, assuming they actually chill, don't spend like their almost every waking moment playing Arknights Endfield, right? So taking a look into this over here, this thingy is very, very important, by the way, which is your Dijiang currency is different from your Wuling currency. For both your in-game resources, you can see over here, right? If you were to go into my stock, right? These are your Wuling materials. All these are from Wuling. So if you want to go for like Dijiang, you have to go into a separate tab from Dijiang, which I think this is just really fucking annoying. I hope they add some sort of a quality of life where you can combine both regions together into one massive depot, because at this moment it's split between two. So right now, if I were to take away like 19.8k, if I drop this here and then I just join it back in, I can bring this amount to my Dijiang place, but I need to manually teleport to Dijiang. Otherwise, this will be a different thing, right? And then aside from that, there's also this other thing over here, which is, as we all come to know and love, the depot as well as the stock market, right? It's also a different currency. So whatever currency in Wuling is a completely different currency from Dijiang, and both of them will have their own users. It is not so much that like your Dijiang is gonna be wasted, but like you're gonna be able to upgrade 2 different areas at the same time. Yes, there is a facility that allows you to transport from depot to depot, but there is a fucking cooldown, my man. I forgot, was it the easy transport, or was it like the I think it was the easy transport. Wait, where is the fucking let me find the damn thing, bro. Where is my... Okay, wait, I don't even think I have it over here. Oh wait, is that? No. Yeah, okay, there is this facility that allows you to transfer, but has a cooldown. And I think like it's just fucking annoying. But luckily for my experience is that I don't really need to transfer too much. Like the materials that I get from one region is kind of just fixed into this region specifically. And then for the materials in Dijiang, I'll just lead it up in the materials in Dijiang. So far, I haven't really felt like a need. And I feel this is probably how the game is going to be developing. So every single time they introduce a new map, it is probably going to be a whole new region. And then they'll introduce like a whole new bunch of mechanics to keep things fresh. Because if you think about it right now, right? AIC as a game mode, it is actually really, it's very, very overwhelming at first. But the moment you finish up everything, it's done. Like, you will never ever have to look at this ever again, because at this point, I can already craft gold gear, and this is basically 24/7 non-stop, right? It will just slowly build this over time. So once this thing is done, you don't look back, and it'll probably get quite stale. So I think this is the method of like the game giving players more opportunities to like learn and like keep upgrading their facilities over time, right? So that's what I think. In any case, going back to my thing about over here, can you guys listen? Stop bombing, bro. Stop. Listen. Oh, wait. Oh, there's a guy. Oh, you guys are defeating the guy. Oh, I just realized. Oh, Che, y'all have 10 seconds. Wait, y'all have 10 seconds, guys. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. You are done. Oh, that was so close, though. That was kind of close, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay, you know what? Y'all can bomb the next guy. All right, y'all can. Okay, the way that this mini game stream ever work is that you have to go onto my Twitch tab. There is this extension you can find in my about page. You can click on that extension, and then you can play a mini game, which helps you to do damage. It's not exclamation attack or exclamation bomb, right? You actually have to go to that little extension to do damage. But what guys. But in any case, so there is gonna be like the AIC stuff. Very, very important. I think this is honestly a very good analogy. If you were to use Blueprint, right, it's good that you can just join a base. I could just give you the blueprint code for $3.99. Half of them is not even mine. But like, it will also be a lot better if you understand how the individual component of the AIC works. Because at any point of time, if you were to run into an issue, right, and your blueprint and your facility just suddenly stop working, like all of a sudden, if one of this thing clocks, you probably have no idea what the fuck to do. So it would be nice to just understand how each step here gets to the step they are today. And then, if anything bad happens, you can try to remedy it for yourself. I don't think you should, like, especially if you're casual, I don't think you need to craft your own blueprints. Because frankly speaking, it takes a fucking insane amount of time. And I think unless you're like a factorial player, I don't think anybody will be like having that much time to like go ahead and craft itself, right? Because I think there's the Enfield's website where there's this factory planner where you can plan out your blueprint before you build. But that's for like the actual meta elitist tryhards for Federal. For most players, I think just joining the blueprint is fine. But understanding how this thing works, just in case something goes wrong, I think it's very, very important, right? So there's the thingy, right? Hopefully you guys get that. Blah 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 blah. This done. I think at this point out. So yes, we do have ourselves a level 80 free to play. We have a level 80 weapon free to play. We also finished up the entire game yesterday, and I was just slamming my shit non-stop. And yes, this was when I first unlocked my gold gear. Got myself a 69, very, very nice over here. And this is where we're increasing our exploration level, which at this point we have pretty much already maxed out. Right, my exploration level is already maxed out. So going to my operator, I kind of already maxed out bro's traces. Almost. I kind of almost maxed out bro's. A little bit here I didn't really max out because I'm a fucking brogy. So it is what it is. Oh, one very important thing is that your materials you need from level 60 to level 80, right? Or rather level 90 is different. So whatever EXP materials and whatever skill materials you guys have, there's no need to like think there's gonna be any like wastage or whatever. Because right now, for example, if I want to raise up my level for Ardelia, which is gonna be at a small level 60 out of 80, this is only to equip gold gear. I actually cannot raise her. Or at least raise it that much, because I can only use these materials, which are obtained for level 60 and above. So you cannot even use like the lower tier materials to level them up. So everything here is like a very, very methodological, step-by-step process, almost exactly the same as like the factory mode, right? Everything here follows a step. And then once you finish up those steps, then the game will kind of just run by itself, which I think is a very, very interesting experience that I never really experienced before in a gacha game. So that is pretty much gonna be that. Any burning questions y'all want to ask before I jump into Daily Village? Burning questions. Burning. Buffalo. Bunnies. Can you Zenless those using the lower rarity? Unfortunately, I don't think you can. Yes, I don't think you can. At least not as of right now. Maybe they have a devs list and you can bring this up. But as of right now, you have to farm the respective levels. Like all these blues, greens, and like grays is just for the earlies. And then if you want to get to the level 4, level 5, all the kind of stuff, you have to go up. So that I want to do. Is there E1 good? I think so far every single one of these games dupes are like eh. Right, this one is basically 8% more of the susceptibility, so to help you do a little bit more damage, and this one just gives you a little bit more heal for E2, which I think is like completely like it is what it is. This one is I think this one is a little bit better because you get a little bit more of the additional skill point. So just to help you hit that the rotation slightly faster, but also not that crazy. The big one is E4 though, right? If you guys are a whale, this E4 is fucking crazy. Because Laevaitain's rotation is revolving around auto damage. She almost plays like a Jingliu. She almost plays like a Jingliu and Mighty, because majority of all the damage is gonna be coming from is during the ultimate stage. So once you go into the ultimate, her damage like easily like 2x, 3x's. So getting the E4 actually helps you maintain almost 100% uptime. Almost 100%, which I think is pretty crazy. Other than that, I don't think the items are not gonna be that crazy. Materials for farming, right? You need your ores first before everything. Like this thing here, this is your step 1. This Origium ore thingy, this is step 1. And like your favorite ore. The purple ore, honestly, it doesn't fucking matter, because this is like for a mid game. which I think is also the reason why the game didn't give a lot of like them purple ores. There was a lot of browns and the blues. You need this first, and then you can think about everything else. Eventually, your objective, right? Your objective is these two things. These two are your final step, by the way. So your Bug Capsule A and your HC Valley Battery. Sorry, not the blue one, the purple one. These are the ones that will be essentially your end game. So you will aim your factory to build these things, because you want to build these things to sell to these guys. Right? So for example, right now, I have 282 of the wait, how the hell do I... Bro, it feels so weird like playing this on a KBM. Alright, so you have your LC Wuthering battery, right? And the reason why you want to get those purples is because it will give you the highest unit price per individual copy sold. Which, if you were to sell more of these copies, it means that you can essentially bring your outpost level up higher. And then once you bring your outpost level up, okay, on top of earning your stock bill, it will then unlock everything else for you at almost like a well-oiled machinery. So for example, if this is gonna be for Wuling, you could also do the same thing for your valley. All right, so this is your Dijiang. So if you go into your outpost management, right here I have 3 camps, right? So if I were to, for example, sell this, I have a grand total of 6.25 of the C. 146 of the B, and I cannot actually sell the higher quality stuff because their levels are not up yet. So you need to unlock this eventually further and further until you get to sell all of those good stuff. So for example, right here, like this thing over here, you can only sell these two, right? Like this thing right here, you can only sell these two, right? The lower quality materials. Okay, this one you can actually sell Bug A, which is pretty good. But as you build your outposts higher levels, that is when you have a almost exponential increase. So you earn more and more money from selling these. And that is kind of like the goal of your AIC factory. To sell goods to the local market. You are pretty much acting like a businessman. Kind of. Your entire purpose in Arknights Endfield AIC is to introduce capitalism to the locals. And then you will produce and manufacture goods and services. And then they will then buy from your outpost. And then their outpost will become stronger. So for example, right, if you are like a developed country, then these are like the developing countries, right? They are like a fucking village. They have like huts and shit. They're getting run down. They're getting cooked by the fucking egglords and everything. You are there to save them. So you introduce capitalism by selling them goods. And you produce these goods from the AIC. And how do you produce them from the AIC? Is from the natural resources that you obtain from the overworld, from your seeds as well as the ores. So that is like the flowchart. And then as this thing go on and on and on, you will eventually unlock like the entire AIC function. And you can kind of just leave it there, right? It will be complete. Then there's not too much to do anymore. Yep, you are giving them capitalism, right? Is focus outpost a good thing like power plant as well as factory to... What do I mean? Focus outpost. Okay, I'm not too sure what I mean by that. But generally, right, the build process for your different cities in Endfield, it's based on like a very rigid structure. Because it might look like this game system is a fucking complicated, right? Like for example, if I were to just come over here, Oh, I just realized we have no music. That's my bad. Guys, give me 1 second. Alright, fantastic. So if you look here, right, at this particular build, right, this entire belt, as impressive as it is, there's only a singular purpose. And that singular purpose is to build this. That is all there is. This is the entire purpose of this entire build, right? All these work, it is for one single goal, which is to make this. So the moment you break it down into like a smaller scale level, right? Because you only have this one objective, the question is just basically how do you get to this objective? And the reason why you want this objective is because you want to sell that good to the logos, right? You want to sell that bug capsule, whatever the fuck. So for example, in this current situation, I can only sell that bug capsule to recon 2, right? So if I were to go ahead, click this, slam, boom, bada bang, right? So you get your outpost prosperity, and you get your very stock bills, right? And you get your... Do we gatekeep the blueprint? Yes. Okay, for now. By any case, you will essentially keep doing this. And you can see over time, there is a level experience. It will go up. And then the more it goes up, the more things you unlock, which then help you progress through your order. Why are his outposts there? Because I was rushing the fucking story. You can't not see my... That, bro, I have literally been planning everything out. And on top of that, I also need a fucking... Oh, and also... Yo, fall. Do you see this? Wait. Before you yap your fucking nonsense, huh? Do you see this? Wait. Where is the fucking... Hey. This is called a free-to-play account, alright? This is a free-to-play account with $0 spent, right? $0 spent, right? So I can't do all of those, and I can't do... Oh, Fob is free-to-play as well. Alright, because they fucking refunded him, right? Yeah. Every money that... Alright, he's basically free-to-play, because the company gave him back all his money. Yep, you're absolutely right. 1 week before... Yeah, you know what? Not gonna talk about that. Very good. He spent like 2K right after that. It's just absolutely insane. Hope he has a good... Wait, did Fob even practice? Because, okay, to be completely honest, right? The event that we're supposed to do, like, where is the, like this thing? Where did it go again? Holy, there's a lot of... Okay, bro. Tomorrow's the last day, by the way. I don't think anyone has... Exactly, bro. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. How the hell is anyone gonna have the time to play this? Like, it's literally impossible. And today is the second last day. So tomorrow is the last day. I literally don't think anyone actually played this. Because how? How do you play this and build your own account? It is literally just not possible. So at this point, we will once again have like 24 hours of prep. If we even have 24 hours of prep. So tomorrow is pretty much gonna be it. Jay's turn and Mina and Molly did. Ooh. Okay, you know what? Hopefully Fob didn't then. I will actually prep tomorrow. Because tomorrow is the last day, right? Tomorrow is the last day. So we will see how that is gonna be doing. Okay, the day about slaves, right? And like executive account managers in Arknights Endfield, right? The thing is, right? There are no good ones. Because nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Like, I think 90% of, like, everybody that just started Endfield, we're literally just still trying to figure the game out as we go along. So, it's not a game like HSR, or like Zenless, or like WoA. You just spend stamina and it's done. Because in Arknights Endfield, you spend stamina in, like, 5 seconds, right? You just go here, and, in less than, 5 seconds, you clean up all stamina. But that's not working. This is literally less than, 1% of the game. There are, like, so many other things to do, which... You can't really get someone who doesn't know anything to do it. Except for myself. Because I know everything, right? So, that is why, in the current Endfield situation, with regards to time management, it is honestly kind of good. It is currently kind of good, right? By any case, yet, I am not gonna stall too much. We will go for Daily Village. And I will be making up the AIC guide. And I will be seeing you guys for Snowbreak Containment Zone. And after Snowbreak Containment Zone, I will just go ahead and we're just gonna, yep. Okay, very good.
You have cooled your last cool, my man.